It sure is a beautiful day. Good morning. I'm here at Palouse Falls State Park in eastern Washington, and certainly been here several times before. It is only about an hour away from home, and I wanted to get up here for some kind of sunrise type stuff and just early morning and get out and take a look and see what's here this time of year. It is in November. Right now, I'm not sure. I could probably get a little bit of color in those clouds, but I'm really interested in seeing what's going on with the falls themselves. I'm going to take a quick breeze around the rim area. My goal is to get down to the upper falls area and on upriver from there. I've not explored that region, and so I want to do what I can to get as far up there as possible. So let's head on out and see what kind of images we can find, and ultimately we're going to end up at the upper falls region and upriver from there. I do happen to really like this steam or this fog, what do you want to call it, that's rising up out of the bowl. So that waterfall goes down and there's some steam coming up the cliff's edge here, and then the wind is taking it off to the right. And I think that's pretty cool, and I think I'm going to try that a little bit. If I can get just a smidge closer like this, then I can grab a little more of the falls and maybe not have this foreground element. We'll see how it goes. Let's grab a couple of shots and move on. Getting that steam rising up was actually pretty cool. I really like some of these shots that I got. I am using the Polar Pro Dark Circular Polarizer as a 3-stop. Really liking this filter, and I love the over-engineered part of it, basically, that it's just so easy to grip and to twist, and you can see that nice brass ring around there, and it just does a really good job of being able to easily, even with my gloves on that are kind of slick to the touch, I can really easily just manipulate that filter and get it right where I want to. Now, shooting into the sun like that hardly did any good, except for on the water down below. And that turned out really nice. But then it also, just because it's a 3-stop, I was able to slow down that waterfall so it would just be nice and silky smooth. Going for about a second, maybe a little more than a second, up to 2 seconds on that. But as that steam is rising up over, it just looked really awesome. So we're going to head on down the rest of the rim, kind of circle around that way, and then we're going to end up at the tracks area where you get on down and you can see the Upper Falls region, and we'll continue our shoot along the way. And I'm just going to do a basic walkthrough, and as I find things from these different areas, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of drop them in as we take our walk, our journey along the rim. This is probably just as good a place as any to talk safety here at the falls, because we have these cliff's edge, and the falls themselves are rated at 198 feet, and then we're another roughly 200 feet above that. So if you were to go over the edge, you would hit the trail at about 200 feet down. Then you'd bounce, and then you'd go another 200 feet down to the water. And so that's a total of 400 feet, roughly speaking. But as these signs are all over the place, and they're saying people have died here. This is definitely true. In the last couple of years, we have at least 4 people die here at the falls. Sometimes they're way down there at the very edge of the falls, where they're just, literally on the very edge. I'll show you a picture of what I'm talking about. And it's very slippery down there, and it's super easy to lose your footing here and to not pay attention. Definitely you should be, taking care of your children and make sure that they are really just not going right to the edge. When I brought my kids here, I basically have told them, you walk single file, you don't, no horseplay at all. If they want to do horseplay, come back up here where there's no problem with, falling off and actually dying. So please, if you choose to come out here and take a look at what's going on, be safe and just know your abilities, and also know that if you come beyond these signs, they're really, yelling at you in using signs, saying that if you need a rescue, you're going to be paying for it, and just kind of making sure we're all clear on that. So let's continue on our journey, and do be safe when you're out there hunting for pictures. Well, I finally made it down here, and this is the Upper Falls area. So I had to turn the camera off because behind where the camera is positioned right now, there's a railroad tracks area, and you've got to come down this not very steep, but steep enough and rough enough that I figured, to play it safe, I'm going to just turn the camera off and get on down it. So I'll get a shot of it, and you can see it here of what that looks like. But my goal here is to explore this Upper Falls area just a little bit, and then I'm going to go up that way, upriver. Probably won't be able to get very far, but we'll just see what we can find. This is purely exploratory from this point on. I have been to the Upper Falls region here, but I have not been up that direction, so I don't even know how far I can get. So let's get on to shooting some pictures and see what we can find. A part of me feels like Mr. Rogers right now, where I'm taking off my shoes, but there's a shot I want that requires walking in the water. And so I have decided I'm going to go ahead and put on my water socks. And because I don't know exactly how it's going to go in that shoe, I'm going to go ahead and take off my regular wool socks here. And we'll just go with these water socks. This should help keep my feet warm while in the water. If they leak a little bit, I'm not that concerned about it, because it's kind of like a wetsuit, and the water will just hang out around my toes and warm up. So the whole point here that I'm trying to do is cross this little section so I can get out there and get closer to that bigger section where the water is coming over. And these water socks just make it a lot better for keeping my toesies warm. Well, the sun is starting to come out, but this shoot at the Upper Falls region here at Palouse Falls has been really great. I started actually just over the ledge right there where you can't see. And so you can see a few pictures that I've got there. And then kind of came up through here. Didn't really see anything I really liked from this exact vantage point, except for one over there, I guess. And then came over here, and I'll go over there where my camera is set up with those falls there. So let's head on back over that way and see if I can do this without falling, because it is a little bit slippery in some places, especially when my feet are wet, my shoes are wet because of dipping my feet in the water. But here we've got my camera set up, and so you can see kind of the angle I'm going for. So we'll show you a couple images from here and what we've got here with this set of falls. But I really like that foreground rock with the water crashing on it, and then the camera is close enough, it's getting quite a bit of mist, so I had to keep wiping off the lens in order to get it to just not have all that water on the lens. And now it's time to head on upriver, continuing to see what we find on up further. Well, I've gotten about as far as I'm interested in going today. This is the Upper Falls area, or I should say this is beyond the Upper Falls area of the Palouse River. And you can see how pretty much peaceful it is and whatever, but there's pretty much no trail. You can see what I'm dealing with here. There's just no trail to speak of. And then of course, we got to think about these big walls too. If one of these boulders came down, it'd be pretty much smushed like a bug. So thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate you being here. Make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell item so you're notified when new videos come out. And until next time, happy shooting.